Magandang araw. Ako si Kuya Code. Today we'll be continuing to learn Python through coding challenges and Hackerrank. Today's challenge will be an introduction to list comprehensions. So in the first example, I'll show you how to calculate all the possible outcomes of two people playing rock, paper, scissors. So first I'll show you a standard way, and then I can show you how to do it with list comprehensions. So the first thing we need, we'll just make a list called choices. We'll have all three choices in here. First one, rock, paper, and scissors. So those are our three choices. And we'll have to make a list for the results. So just a quick thing. If you have two people playing rock, paper, scissors, and each person can has three options, then it would simply be 3 to the power of 2, or 3 times 3, which is 9. So in this situation, we're looking for 9 possible options. And I guess a good way to think of this is for every option that I have, the other person has 3 options, and I have 3 options. So that's how you get 3 times 3 equals 9 possibilities. So um, maybe you've already thought of a possible solution, but in this case, we just need 2 loops. So for I in range 3, this, for example, is all the possibilities that I have 3 choices, and for every single choice that I have, the opponent also has 3 choices. So we have that. And then we can just do data.append choice at I and choice at j. So rather than doing just with numbers, I made this that way I can associate a number, the index with a string. So for example, my first choice would be I would be index 0, and then index 0 of choices would be rock. So rock would be added to the list here. And in this case, choice j would also be 0, which means this would also be rock. But then on the next iteration, I would still be 0, but j would be 1, which the index 1 is paper. So the next iteration would be rock with paper. And it'll just go through all of those, and you'll see all the combinations. So then I can just simply print data. And there you go. We have all the combinations. We can just print length of data, which will just give us 9. There you have 9 choices. And now we can just do the list comprehension, which is actually a bit cleaner. So let's see here. So list comprehensions are faster, but if you're using giant data sets, it could cause memory issues. And also they're less readable because of the way that it's structured. In my last video, I did have a list comprehension where it's just all in one line. So it's usually for simple things of just basically creating a list of data. And there is also a way to filter it as well. So we'll just do data equals, and in this case, this is the output, or in this case, this is the data that's being added to the data list. So this is the output. So this is the first parameter. So this is the output that we're expecting. And then for I in range 3, this is our loop. And then for j in range 3, this is our second loop. And then we can simply print data, and then let's see that, and it just gives us the same thing. Even though this code isn't very much, or this section here isn't very large, this is just all in one line, and it kind of looks cleaner. Something else that we can do is we can also filter that. So maybe we only want to print out data that's doesn't contain rock or paper or scissors. So if not choices that's not what I wanted. If not choices I dot starts with rock, or choice j starts with rock. Let's see, if you print this out. I guess I could have kept that. So this is excluding all of the options that include rock, and of course you could do paper, or you could say you can get rid of the not and only include ones that include rock. So this one is either case includes rock, or you can use and, which only include ones where both of them are rock. So that's just kind of a way to filter it. But then how do we do that in a list comprehension? So it's pretty straightforward. You can just add this on the back. So if not, actually you can probably just copy this exactly, I believe. Yep, that gets the same result. Or you could do paper. Let's see what that does. Rock, 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 paper, rock, scissors, paper, paper, scissors, paper, etc. But you can just put in your own filter, and you can just, it's basically just a Boolean logic for that. So this is pretty straightforward. The code is basically the same. It's just that this is kind of a cleaner way to do it in one line rather than having it like that. So now when it comes to the list comprehension problem for Hackerrank, let's see here. So so an easy way to explain this, imagine you want to generate all possible 3-digit numbers using just regular digits. Oh, sorry, regular numbers. Let me actually just get like a notepad here open. So if I have a number like 999, well then, one moment here. This is the 100th place, this is the tens place, and this is the ones place. So there's 3 digits within this number, and each digit has 10 options because it goes from 0 to 9. So that's what generally we call this base 10. So the first possible option is 000, and then the last possible option is 999 and everything between. So because each digit has 10 options and there's 3 digits, you have 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. So there's 1,000 possible combinations. This problem is the exact same thing. It's asking you to print out all the possible combinations, except instead of assuming base 10 for each section where there's 10 options, in this case you can just give your own digits. So for example, x is 1, y is 1, z is 2. That means in this first number here, it's only going to go up to 1. So it's only possible to be 0, 1. Same thing with y, 0, 1. But with z, it could be 0, 1, or 2, as you can see the 2 here. So you can print all these out. It's going to give you every single possible combination of the digits, assuming, this would technically be base 2, and base 3, because there's 2 options, and 3 options. But then the caveat is we're going to sum all of these numbers and only show them, or maybe exclude them, that exclude the ones where the sum is not equal to 3. So simply in this case, when you sum all these, you get 18, because 9 plus 9 plus 9 is, and that's not right, 27. 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 27. So now let me go down to the code here. Let's just make it full screen a bit easier to see. It's completely blank. Okay, there's the... so we have our 3 digits for x, y, and z. We have n. So let me see here. So we could just do it inline, but I'm going to add a little bit more code than I need to. So first we'll get all the possible values of I. So we have I, j, and k. So I values equals, and we can just use list comprehension. So again, we're going to be adding I into this list, and then for the loop, for I in range. And what is the range? The range is just going up to x plus 1. And then we could just copy and paste this 3 times. This will be y plus 1. This will be z plus 1. And of course, as I mentioned, the reason why you need to do the plus 1 is because if this is 1, it doesn't include that one. So you actually need to have it 1 more if you want to include it. So in this case, for example, if z is 2, what that means is you want to include 0, 1, and 2. But if you just have Z here as 2, the range will only go from 0 to 1. So you need to have an extra one in there. This will be J. This will be K. J. J. K. K. And then I can just print out values just to kind of see. There's J values, there's K values. Let's just run this and see what we get. Of course, it's going to show the wrong answer because it's not printing out all of these options here. Right, so in this case, X is 1, Y is 1, Z is 1. So it's only going to go up to, each list is only going to go up to 1. And here's all, this is what's expecting, all the combinations of these three. So each section could be either a 0 or a 1, so it just shows them all there. So we don't necessarily have to have that printed out. But now we need to have these added into one list. So we can do another list comprehension for that. So maybe I'll just make this, I was going to say make that shorter, but I guess it's not a big deal. So data equals, so this is our input. So we need I, J, and K. And now for the loops, for be I in range. Actually, we can just do for I in I underscore values, I believe, because this is a list. For J in J values, for K in K values. And then let's see what we get with that. Print data. I always like to run the code and just double check the result of this. So okay, this actually looks good, except the second portion is to filter it because these need to be summed up. So in this case, you have to exclude all the ones that add up to 2. So for example, this one adds up to 2, so you wouldn't actually have that. So now we can add in our, can I move this over? Now we can add in our filter. So for the filter, if sum is built into Python, so you can just do sum. And what are we summing? We need to sum all the items in a list, I, J, K, and the sum will give us an integer value, which is a whole number, and then we need to check if it's not equal to n. So now we'll print that out and see what we get. Bool is not iterable. I forgot I put the closing bracket in the wrong place. All right, so now all of these are correct. Which, okay, those look fine, but now we have to run the code. Okay, it looks like we are good to go. Funny enough, it says print it in increasing order. It looks like the default was increasing order. They could have done it in a weird way where, well, I suppose this would just, because we're looping through starting from 0, naturally they're going to be increasing order, so we don't need to like sort it or anything like that. But yeah, that's it for that one. So if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more coding challenges. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions or suggestions for future videos. See you next time on Kuya Code. Paalam.